Good morning, everyone. We're going to get started in a moment, just waiting for our participants to join. Got a nice group this morning. All right, let's get started. I'm Felix Champa, the Executive Director of ULI New York. I want to thank you for joining us this morning for our Decoded event. Everything you need to know about ULI New York and the volunteer opportunities that we have and how to access them. The timing of this program is something we've found works really well because this is the first quarter of the year when our application window is open for all of our leadership and volunteer opportunities for ULI's 2023 fiscal year, which begins on July 1. I'm going to take you through the agenda real quick. So we're going to go through a presentation, which I will lead. During the presentation, I'll introduce various of our volunteer members who are in leadership roles with the organization, and they'll talk a little bit about the work they do with the organization and a little bit about their member journey as well. And then at the end of the presentation, hopefully, we will have time for a couple of breakout sessions with the participants and our members. So when we'll do that as when we wrap, just a couple of reminders, please keep yourself muted while you are watching the presentation. And volunteer leaders, when I get to your slide and I call on you, you can unmute and turn your camera on. And then when you're done, you can mute yourself and turn your camera off if you'd like. So before we really jump into the presentation, I want to just introduce our Vice Chair for the New York District Council, Bethany Ropa, who will become the Chair of the New York District Council on July 1. Bethany?
Thanks, Felix, and thanks everyone for joining today. We're really excited to be kicking off our next season of leadership applications for ULI New York. And thought we'd bring you an overview of what all the different pieces are of New York and the different ways to get involved. I'm Bethany Ropa. In my day job, I work in real estate investment banking at UBS. But in my other day job, I should say, I work for ULI New York as vice chair and stepping into the chair role in a couple months' time. But my journey with ULI began a long time ago, actually, back when I was in grad school, and I got involved in ULI in various different ways throughout the years, which I think has been super beneficial, both in my career development as well more broadly in building relationships and connections across the real estate organization. I first got involved as a young leader back in grad school about 15 or 16 years ago. And then when I moved to New York, was involved attending events as a young leader early in my career. When we launched the Women's Leadership Initiative back in 8 or 9 years ago at this point, I got really involved in the initial steering committee of that and ultimately stepped into the role of co-chair and then chair of our Women's Leadership Initiative. After that, I moved over to chair of mission advancement, overseeing what we were doing more broadly with the district council before moving into the chair role about a vice chair role a couple of years ago. I share that story with you just to show that as your career progresses, there's a lot of different ways to get involved with ULI and pieces of the organization where you can be involved and be an active volunteer member. That's just one story. We've got a lot of leaders on the Zoom today that have gotten involved in ULI in various different ways and various different pieces of the organization, whether it's through our young leaders, through our Women's Leadership Initiative, through Next, through TAPS, through our product councils. Can't even list it all, but you'll hear it all today. So excited for you guys to hear from each of our leaders and from Felix as well about the various pieces of the organization. I find with 16 years involved in ULI, I am still learning about new ways to get involved in new things that we're doing across the organization here in New York and more broadly nationally as well. So thanks for taking the time to join us today. We hope that you will apply for a leadership role and get more involved in the year ahead. We're really stronger with the more active and engaged members that we have. And thanks for your interest. All right, Felix, back to you.
Thanks, Bethany. Thanks for all you do for ULI New York. And I look forward to working with you, continuing to work with you in your role as chair come July. So for those of you who may be on this call who are really new members, or I think we might even have some non-members, just a quick background on ULI. ULI is a global nonprofit organization. It's the oldest and largest, and I would say the most prestigious cross-disciplinary network of real estate and land use experts anywhere in the world. ULI is really all about its members. It's the members who deliver the mission, who shape the future of communities and deliver the transformative impact in communities around the world. That's part of ULI's mission. We here as staff, myself, Chris Carrickle, Sam Mullins, Laura Conart, who are all on today's webinar, are here to help you get the most out of your member experience and your ULI member journey. So whenever there are questions or there's anything you need, you always can reach out to us. A little background on sort of where we fit in the ULI network. It's a global organization. We're one of the district councils in the Americas region. We're the largest district council with the most members and have been for some time. You can see, you could see some of the breakout of membership there at the bottom and gender demographic. More on that as we move through. I like this slide because it just sort of shows all of the things that we do with our members and all the things that we help our members do, from connecting to their professional development experiences, building better communities, supporting and advocating for DEI. It's just a kind of around the wheel at ULI. This is our org chart for the current fiscal year. Please don't endeavor to read it. It's not intended for you to read it on this screen. It's a way of saying we have a pretty extensive org chart with links that take you in to each of the groups so that you can see headshots of the leaders of each of the groups. This org chart is found on our website on our About tab. I'll circulate it after the Zoom meeting today, so you have it. For those of you who've gotten my welcome emails, you will already have received it, but we try to keep this up to date with our leaders so everyone can see who's engaged in the organization. We have a pretty robust advisory board, multidisciplinary leaders from across the industry. Just wanted to show those so people can see the leaders and the companies that are represented here at ULI New York. They give us strategic guidance on the goals for the organization and the themes, topics, and areas of focus for each fiscal year. So they play a really key role for us. Our management committee really focused on the operational aspects of the organization. Many of our leaders who are with us today are also on the management committee, so there's great synergy there. Our total membership was down a little bit last year in 21, really impacted by the pandemic. It's starting to make its way back to where it was in previous years and ticking back up. So that's great to see. And really during the pandemic, we were really pleased that we only lost about 7 to 8% of our membership at the start of the pandemic. And that's much less than we had feared and ULI had feared. It's a testament to all the work that the volunteer members on this call have done and just the members in general staying really engaged with us. And we're grateful for that. Membership demographic, just a quick slice. You've got gender, public, private sector, and associate membership. And you could see a little note on the top. We've got a lot of members on local product councils and a lot on national product councils. And this pie chart just shows you the ULI members participating in New York and their professional backgrounds. I say this every time we look at this chart, but you'll notice the largest segment, 19%, is no data. That's not a company, it's just no data, because we still have members who are not filling in their ULI member profile in that forum with their information. So we would encourage you to please do that. Do that after today's meeting if you haven't, or when you have a chance at my.uli.org. If you fill that in, then that pie chart will get more robust. And with that, I want to turn it over to the chair of our membership committee, Emmanuel Schlossberg. Emmanuel?
Good morning. Thanks, Felix. Thanks, Bethany. Welcome, everybody. I'm Emmanuel Schlossberg. My day job is I'm the VP of Marketing for the Durst organization, but I'm the chair of the membership committee here in New York. And really, this is just the tip of the ULI iceberg. So in general, I would let you know that our job, I have a co-chair, and Lauren, you're here. So welcome, Lauren. We both together work on the membership committee, and the membership committee focuses on both retention and recruitment. So happy to see that hopefully some of the members are here to learn a little bit more. For those of you who are not members, come and join us. Again, the committee is, to give you a little bit of background, we are comprised of Lauren and myself and a subcommittee of 4 people. We do not do this work alone. There are 2,500 of you out there. We try to ensure that you know what is being offered, make sure that you are in interest groups that would benefit, because essentially your involvement is what drives your interest and benefits you, from everything from programming to young leaders to women, to the WLI group. So there are many possibilities for you, including the councils, including education with Urban Plan and TAP. So all of these things will be decoded as we go along. So as I said, we have a lot to offer. We are here as well as the ULI team, who does an immensely amazing job of making sure that we stay focused and equip us with all the information. So please, whenever everybody gets an email for joining, our emails are CC'd. If you have any questions, let us know. On a personal journey level, I would say I've been a member of ULI for 13 years. And I was just so taken by the quality of the events and the people. And one day Bethany came to me and said, "Hey, what are you doing? You're always here." So here I am. I started as head of membership for WLI, and then the New York District Council decided that membership was such an important part of supporting the members that the organization decided to put together an overall membership committee. So with that, again, I can't emphasize enough the quality of the people, the mentorship, the education, programming. I'll say it's almost like having an incredible alma mater where I pick up the phone and I have a question about whether it's a consultant that I'm looking for, or a position I'm looking to fill, that it's an incredible network. Nobody doesn't return your call. So with that, and I want to say thanks to Lauren, who is definitely part of that and who will be chair next year. So you'll see a little bit more of her. Anything else? We're good. All right. And good morning.
Thank you, Emmanuel and Lauren, for everything you do to support the members here at ULI New York. We very much appreciate it. We've got an initiative that advocates for the diversity, equity, and inclusion within the real estate industry and ULI broadly, that we've been focused on for really the past 3 years. We've done a lot over the course of that time. We've got really a 3-pronged strategy that we're driving on around engaging existing diverse members, attracting diverse non-members to ULI, introducing them to ULI and the value proposition, and a focus on developing the pipeline of the next generation of real estate leaders, and encouraging underrepresented groups to consider the real estate industry as a profession. Within those 3 areas of focus, those 3 strategies, we have 3 primary goals around promoting diversity, equity, and inclusion, building awareness of it in everything we're doing, from our programming across the organization, ongoing education, et cetera. And also, we want ULI New York and our members to be a resource around DEI for each other in the industry, their companies, others who are out there in the industry, and we continue to do work in that regard. I think I mentioned earlier, I made the comment about the profile and the gap in data. Really, in order for us to sort of drive on all of our programming, DEI in particular, we really need members to fill in their demographic information. So you'll see this reminder in all of our Monday morning weekly update emails, and periodically throughout the year to go into your profile and update it. So when you have a moment, please do that. And I want to let you hear from BJ Glenn, who's one of the chairs of our DEI committee. BJ?
Thank you for that, Felix.
Yeah.
Good morning to everybody. My name is BJ Glenn, as Felix said. I am an asset manager with Unibail Rodamco Westfield in my day job. And then in my second day job, piggybacking off of Bethany, I am the vice chair of our DEI committee, working closely with Caroline Mall as our chair. Felix touched on a lot of our core goals that we've established over the last couple of years. And I would say just to wrap all of that up and bring it all together, what we really want to do is make sure that all of our diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives are really permeating across the entire organization. So we have the opportunity to work with a lot of the leaders that you're going to hear from today and make sure that we're really being transparent and holding ourselves accountable and doing everything we can to create a more diverse industry and make sure that we're being a good partner for organizations such as Project Destin and other groups in New York that are really looking and committed to the cause as well. And as Emmanuel said, our emails are all available. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions about our committee, the time commitment, or if you have any ideas or just would like to have a conversation. But more than happy to do that. But thank you for joining us this morning, and I'm looking forward to meeting all of you guys in the coming year.
Great. Thanks, BJ. Appreciate all the work that you do, and Caroline and everyone on the DEI committee. Thank you. This is just the images of our members at various events. Obviously, we've been, with the pandemic, the past almost 2 years now, we've been substantially remote and virtual. We did start last year in the summer and then the fall coming back and doing some in-person programming. One of the big things we did, we were able to actually execute our Awards for Excellence in Development Gala on November 2nd in the fall. So that was really amazing. We had 565 people at Cipriani Wall Street. But these are just some images of past events, urban plan, and other things that our members do out in the community. So really, in terms of how ULI New York delivers value to you as a ULI member, we like to think of it in these three circles around programming and content, networking and mentoring, and then our community impact initiatives. And as we move through, we'll talk about each of these areas in more detail. I mean, programming, if you haven't seen already, there's a wealth of programming that you get as a ULI member, and content. You get it from headquarters, you get it internationally, reports, etc. On the programming side, we've been, as I said, virtual, and we continue to do things to a degree virtually. We're starting to do more things in person, but ULI has a digital program that they continue to run and content that they continue to produce virtually, which I imagine they will continue to do for some time, because there's really a feeling that you're able to leverage the real international impact and the international impact of ULI and its experts and bring them into programming in local markets that obviously you would never be able to do if everything was fully in person. So I think you'll continue to see virtual in ULI for some time. At the global level, as I mentioned, there's a lot of content. There are reports, webinars, convenings. You can see the ULI's Emerging Trends report for 2022, which reminds me we have our Emerging Trends Conference, our Real Estate Outlook 2022 event on March 16th. We are doing that in person. We're doing that at Convene at 237 Park Avenue. There's just so much that you can access at ULI at any time, anywhere. There's just huge content and huge programming available to you. And then at the local level, we have content that we create specifically with a more New York focus, led by our program steering committee, but also we have programming groups within our Young Leaders Group and our Women's Leadership Initiative. You can see just a snapshot of some of the programs we've done, virtual and in person. And on that note, I want to just turn it over and let you hear a little bit about the program steering committee from Dan Carr, who's one of the co-chairs. Dan?
Hi, thanks, Felix, and good morning, everyone. I'm driving, so I'm going to turn my video off for safety, but nice to be here with you this morning. My ULI story is I joined ULI about 12 years ago as part of Young Leaders Group, and I think since that time, I've always been a member of either the Young Leaders Programming Committee or the larger programming committee, and now I'm co-chair of the programming committee along with Netta Levy. The reason that I really like ULI and programming is, I think it delivers two huge things to my life. One is connections and people that I would have met and relationships that I'm able to form. And two is exposure to things that I don't get in my day job. In my day job, I work in private equity, real estate at Ares, but in ULI, I get to see every aspect of the built environment and really pursue a lot of my interests and learn about a lot of things that I don't get to see every day. Programming is a great way to get involved with ULI. We have about 15 to 20 people on our program steering committee, and throughout the year, people pair up in twos or threes and pursue their interests, put programs on, and really provide content for our members. So the great thing about program steering committee is, one, you meet a lot of people, both the committee members and other folks in the industry who you invite to be on panels. And two, you get to explore whatever it is you may be interested in, whether it's film studios or healthcare or whatever aspect of real estate you want to touch. There's the ability to put on a program, further investigate it, and importantly, meet people who are practitioners in that subsegment of the industry. So we welcome everyone to apply, to learn more. And I think it's, for those of you who have not previously been involved in ULI leadership, a great first step to get involved.
Thank you so much, Dan. Thank you. And thanks to Netta and the entire program steering committee for all the compelling content that you put on throughout the year. And in particular, over this past 2 years where we've had to do so much virtually, it's just been a real testament to the commitment of you and Netta and the group to continue to put on high quality programming. So thank you. Our Product Council Network, a hallmark of ULI is the Product Council Network, both nationally and locally. These are multidisciplinary groups of real estate mid and senior level professionals who convene around a particular asset class, property type, subject matter in real estate. You can see here in New York, we have 4 councils. Mixed use has 2 flights, blue and green. And these are groups of 40 to 50 multidisciplinary members who come together 6 times a year. They meet, they make long-lasting connections. They dive deep into different topics, which they really drive with the leadership of the councils. And I think it's one of the highest value engagements here at ULI nationally, but also at ULI locally. And so I wanted to invite some of our product council co-chairs to say a few words about their product council experience and their ULI journey. So I think we will start with Silke Rapelius from the Housing Council.
Okay, thank you, Felix, for introducing. I'm Silke Rapelius. I'm a principal of GKV Architects, and I had been with GKV now for 20-something years, a long time. But I also have the pleasure to be the co-chair of the Housing Council. At the Housing Council, we do collaborate on residential planning perspectives, effectively shaping a more accessible, sustainable, and diverse future of this city. And as we all know, this is even like a more pressing issue since ever the pandemic arose. Chad Sinsheimer is my fellow co-chair, and we regularly invite high-profile industry leaders discussing residential development. One of our most recent lectures featured like how to approach conversion of an office building into a residential building. So like how to find them. Everson Young like gave us a great tool on how to find these office buildings, and then how these buildings can be converted most effectively. We also had a fireside chat with Gary Mellon, COO of Cochrane, and with Carolee Fink. She's a former chief of staff at the EDC and now a principal of M Squared. So how did I get here? In 2017, 2 of GKV's projects were nominated for the ULI Award of Excellence. Ultimately, the Beekman Hotel and Residency Stockholm, one of the prestigious awards for excellence in hotel development. And then at the award ceremony, I met a lot of other principals from market leading firms, colleagues, friends of mine, who are business leaders and best in class professionals. And I said like, wow, I should really join ULI. I will be networking with all these effective leaders. And ever since, I'm enjoying the broad variety of ULI events. And I have now been serving as a co-chair for 2 years. And it had been a great journey so far. I can totally recommend it.
Thank you, Silke. Thank you and Chad for all the great programming you've been putting on for the members. Next, let's hear from Fred Harris in the Infrastructure Council. Fred?
Hi, so I am the co-chair with Joyce Indebrand of the Infrastructure Council. My ULI journey actually began with infrastructure almost 40 years ago when I was running real estate for the MTA, and we asked the ULI to put a technical panel together to advise us on what is now called Hudson Yards. But at those time, back then, it was just sort of the beginnings of thinking about overbuilding the West Side Yard that the MTA had just completed. The Infrastructure Committee looks at all the big infrastructure issues facing the city, at resiliency in sort of a large scale sense. We had a program on climate migration. We've looked at very specifically at utility infrastructure, at transit and rail infrastructure, even roadways, all the debates about how to allocate roadway use in the pandemic and just in general. I think our most recent meeting, we had an update on the big Penn Station development program and where that all stands today. The council includes a really very diverse group of people. They're developers. They're also a fair number of government officials and consultants that work on these different areas. And it's always been a very lively group. My particular ULI journey began, as I said, almost 40 years ago. And during that time, I worked in government, in academia, for not-for-profits, but mostly for commercial developers, and actually mostly developing large-scale rental housing projects. And we'd love to see you at Infrastructure. It's a terrific council with a very diverse and very engaged membership.
Thank you, Fred, and thank you to Joy as well for everything you do. Mixed Use Council, we have a representative for Mixed Use. We have Julia Murphy. Julia.
Hi there. I'm Julia Murphy. My day job is as an architect at Skidmore, Owings and Merrill. And I am a vice chair of the Mixed Use Green Flight with Miriam Harris and Paul Freed. Recent panels and events in our group have looked at the impact of fulfillment and warehouse centers, especially in the outer boroughs. We've dug into impacts of climate change, especially locally, and understanding Local Law 97, which will impose penalties for energy use. We also recently looked at some parametric modeling tools for urban planning and real estate development. My personal ULI journey really came from an effort for me as an architect and designer to broaden my perspective and educate myself in some of the financial and other considerations. I started working with the mentorship program, where I've met amazing. I know I'm the mentor, but I often meet people who mentor me right back. And have moved into the Mixed Use Council, which really feels like a great home for me in a sense, because it really does help enrich my view, from a design perspective, specifically with the multidisciplinary and varied entry points of the ULI membership in looking at issues really from other perspectives. Also, of course, meeting the networking and making friends when you really dig in and work with people. Thank you.
Thank you, Julia, and thanks to Miriam and Paul as well. Tech Council, we have Matt Boris. Matt?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Matt Boris, and I lead RXR Digital Ventures, which is RXR's venture capital arm. I am also obviously co-chair of the New York ULI Tech and Innovation Council. I originally joined the Tech and Innovation Council as a member about 3 years ago now. And my original reason for joining was, if you thought of prop tech or real estate tech as a new focus area within real estate, I was interested in connecting with other like-minded individuals in this kind of emerging space. And as a member of the council for the last few years, I can say that it's been an incredible outlet to learn and connect with other leaders throughout the industry. And we've really had the opportunity to explore a wide range of topics at the intersection of real estate and tech. I think, as an example, at the end of last year, we had the opportunity to sit down in a small group setting with Lieutenant Governor Brian Benjamin to discuss topics important to the new administration, and literally had the opportunity to highlight areas of opportunity from our group's perspective that we thought could help that new incoming administration. Our next meeting, we've invited an advisor to A16Z Crypto, which is a prominent venture capital firm, to speak about Web3 and the metaverse. So, which I think it just highlights kind of the wide range of topics we have the opportunity to cover as a group. And so, just to summarize, I think this group has been, again, kind of an incredible outlet for me and others to connect with a diverse group of people across the industry and explore a wide range of topics that I would say kind of has an underlying mission of having a positive impact on our respective communities.
Thank you, Matt. Thanks to Cindy, your co-chair as well. And thanks to all the Product Council co-chairs for the great content and programming you've put on over the last 2 years. Again, I continue to emphasize, during the pandemic, while we've been virtual and you've had so many virtual meetings, but you've continued to meet and continue to connect with your fellow members and keep everyone energized. And it's a testament to your commitment to ULI. So thank you all. Here's the other co-chairs as well, who I've mentioned, who are not able to join us. ULI Next. This section I want to just touch on quickly. We have several affinity groups here at ULI New York. We have Next, we have the Women's Leadership Initiative, and we have the Young Leaders Group. The Next group is really focused on mid-career professionals and trying to create an experience that really speaks to them and their unique experiences. And I'm going to let the representative from Next speak to that, Alexis Seba. Alexis?
Thanks, Felix. Thanks, everyone, for joining. My name is Alexis Seba. I'm an attorney at the environmental and energy law firm Seif Padgett and Rizal. I'm also the co-chair of ULI Next, along with Matt Johnston. So Next is just, I think, an absolutely fantastic group within ULI because it provides all of the benefits that people have discussed in terms of learning and community, but also provides a really close-knit personal and professional network for people who are kind of at the same life stage. So, I mean, certainly kind of the same career stage, mid-career professionals, but also people who are dealing with a lot of the same kind of personal life issues as well. So it provides, I find, for a very honest and open community where folks can talk about personal and professional items, and also provides a great platform for leadership development within Next, but also within ULI overall. So it's a great kind of jumping off platform in that way, and just such a fun and inspiring group to be a part of. My journey with Next began at the Kings County Distillery in the Brooklyn Navy Yard for a WLI event years ago. Someone mentioned that it was happening. Meeting at a distillery sounded great. And it was, and even better than I expected, because it was such a well-run event. So conducive to networking and relationship building, so educational, even just from a distillery standpoint, that it was such a good introduction to ULI. And that's just what ULI events have been going forward, just a really excellent way to connect with people, learn and develop relationships going forward. So when I became of age to join ULI Next, I was really excited to do so. And it's been a joy to be the co-chair and really get to know folks at a deeper level. So thanks everyone for your interest.
Thanks, Alexis. Thank you to you and from Matt for everything you do. I mentioned Young Leaders Group. So this is our emerging leaders who are under the age of 35. I think we have the largest young leader network in the ULI District Council network. They have a tremendous amount of programming and networking events that they put on throughout the year. Each year, pre-pandemic, during the pandemic, they've just continued to make those connections. And I want to give Amar Brombat an opportunity to just talk a little bit about the YLG and his own journey. Amar, thanks for being with us.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for being here. I'm the executive co-chair of the Young Leaders Group here. I joined the Young Leaders Group when I moved up to New York for a new role over 5 years ago. And I didn't know anyone in the city, and I thought it was a great way to grow my network with real estate peers. I'm so glad I joined. YLG is definitely one of my strongest networks here in the city. More importantly, beyond that, I've been fortunate to make many lifelong friends here as well. My current co-chair is Dominic, is actually the first person, one of the first people I met when I came for my first meeting in New York City. He was either to the right or left of me, and it's crazy how that works out, right? Like you make so many great connections here, and then over the years you'll be shocked at how, when you think back to how long you've known those members. YLG has 800 plus members at large in the New York Metro. We hold many great events. We have Secrets of Success, which basically where you find someone and an industry leader and kind of have like a fireside chat style event with them where we can get one-on-one questioning and just understanding how they got to where they are. Peer-to-peer is kind of along the same lines, whereas we pick someone or we get someone who is more within our age range, who's done great things in the city or part of their company or their own lives as well. And you kind of get that one-on-one chat to understand, how do they get where they are? What advice do they have for our members? We also have development site tours. We've been to Hudson Yards. We've seen some amazing sites. And, I think once, we're out of this kind of weird range with the pandemic, we're really going to build that up again and have a lot more events and a lot more on-site events as well. We also launched, which is a new program, which is called the cohort program. We're really excited about that. We wanted to still make sure that even though we're whatever stage we're in, and the pandemic was actually a great kind of testing phase for that too. We know it's hard for people to, make those connections when you go to the events. You might see some people and then you may not see them again for another month or two at a different event. So what can we do to help facilitate and break the ice for our members? So the cohort program that we launched puts people and members into, groups of 4 to 6 based on, we'll launch like a questionnaire, like what are you looking for to learn? Like, what kind of people are you trying to meet in the industry, and put them in a group together. And we'll basically, we use that as a way to, informally, formalize the informal and make an avenue for people to get together beyond our, core and structured events. So hopefully anytime as you grow within YLG, you have this core group of, connections and networking friends that grow with you as you grow with the organization. There's many ways to get involved. We've also found ways to offer, different training opportunities and different connections to, things in the city. We worked with Argus to, we're working on, we've offered Argus Enterprise discounted training. We've worked with Commercial Observer to offer YLG members discounted subscriptions. We're always open to new ideas. So if you have any, we're open to them. There are multiple avenues for people to get involved. So don't feel that, there's only a couple opportunities. We have a very robust programming committee. There's so many different opportunities for there to offer within, the programming committee itself. We have a professional development committee, and within the programming committee itself, there's so many different subcommittees, and we're always looking for help, and we're looking for passionate people in the real estate industry. So if you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm always happy to speak to people who are looking to get involved, and we hope to see you. Thank you.
Thank you, Amar. Thanks to Dominic and all of the YLG committee and subcommittee co-chairs for keeping the YLG engaged and putting on great programs. Thank you. Women's Leadership Initiative. This happens to be the 10-year anniversary of the Women's Leadership Initiative at ULI and the work of advancing women at all levels of their careers as leaders in the industry and at ULI. I think Bethany mentioned at the outset, I think we're in year 9 here in New York. or 8 or 9 of the Women's Leadership Initiative. Fantastic network, incredibly strong, lots of opportunities you can see in terms of committees and subcommittees and ways to get involved in the Women's Leadership Initiative. And to that, I'm going to turn it over to Dana Getman, who's the chair of the WLI, and let her speak a little bit. Dana?
I'm Dana Getman. I'm a principal of Shop Architects, and I've been a member of ULI since I was brought in by some of the founding members of WLI in 2013. So it's been around since at least then. So it was already going when Bobby Paley and Ronnie Hackett and Bethany all brought me into the fold. It was a really great entry point for me into ULI, and I love being a part of ULI for a lot of the reasons people have discussed in terms of it's mixed discipline. It's about how we build, shape, design our cities, and WLI has been a great support network along the journey. I was one of the founding co-chairs of ULI Next, so I want to give a shout out to that group as well, because that is a great experience. I'm still a part of it. I don't have the hard work of Alexis and Matt of co-chairing that, but it was a great group as well. But WLI has a lot of entry points. So anyone who identifies as a female is automatically a part of it, so you don't have to apply. And everyone is welcome to our events. But we do have 5 committees. And there's co-chairs for each and also committee members. So there's lots of ways of getting involved. I'll go through the 5 really quickly. Programming is one, and this is really a great place to connect and learn. Our programs include the Learning from Leaders is one of our key features, but also tours and other educational events. There's a communications committee that's really focused on increasing the visibility of women leaders in the industry through newsletters and other communication means. We have our own membership engagement, which Emanuele spoke about as well, and does a great program, coffee chats and other more informal ways of meeting up and connecting. And then the other committees are a bit more focused on impact and bringing more people into the ULI and WLI fold, which is university outreach, which is a committee that focuses on going to universities and doing mentorship and connection there. And there is a foundations committee that's pretty new, that has also focused a bit earlier than university outreach and trying to increase visibility and diversity in our committees. And they are just launched the first 2 scholars, which haven't been announced yet, but will be shortly for their new foundations. And there's also a special projects, which is finishing up this year, which is an incredible grant that we received under the leadership of Marina, one of the former co-chairs of WLI, to put together a training and scholarship, program for high school students to really expose more women and to the real estate industry earlier. So that is the super quick overview. And if you have any questions, please reach out.
Thanks, Dana. Thank you. And thanks to Anne-Sophie and all the WLI chairs and co-chairs for all the work that you've done. Mentor program, incredibly important to our membership. You can hear really these themes throughout the conversations we've been having this morning with the volunteer leaders in their journey, and really mentoring is one of the greatest value propositions here at ULI and ULI New York, and learning from those who've been there and done that. And I think we run, I can say pretty confidently, the #1 mentor program in the country, the largest one-to-one matching program in the country. And I'm going to let Lola Bellini, who's one of the co-chairs of our mentor program, speak a little bit about it. Lola?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining today. I do run the mentor program along with my co-chair, Scott Sambade, vice chairs, Natalia Bernardo and Dino Christoforakis. We have 2 other members, Christina Chow and Young Ji, that help us with mentor outreach. My personal ULI journey started just about 2 decades ago. I've been involved in as an urban plan facilitator. I was in YLG once upon a time, and I got involved in mentoring about the time I joined ULI. And the draw to mentoring was more about giving back. I was the beneficiary of some great formal and mostly informal mentorship in my career. And I thought this was a great way to meet other people and help the next generation of real estate leaders. And it's been a very rewarding experience. We do a lot of work to help mentors, but it's amazing how much we get back from just putting this program together. This year, there are about 300 participants, mentors and mentees. In August of every year, we take in applications from interested mentees. We screen them and go through a really rigorous pairings process to pair mentees with mentors we think will help them with their near-term stated goals and long-term stated goals. And we run various programs throughout the year, mostly around things that are happening in real estate in New York, special projects or initiatives, as well as professional development programs, all of which are meant to bring our members together so they can network with one another, both as mentor and mentee, but with the broader program, and also to learn and grow as professionals. And we find that it's very well received, and our events are really well attended, even when they have to be virtual, which we've had to deal with in the last couple of years. But we found that this was a great way for people to stay engaged with one another, with ULI, and to stay connected. So we welcome any interest in the mentor program. And if you want to dip your toe in the pool, come and become a mentor. Again, just let Scott or me know that you're interested, and we'll begin pairing people up again, as I mentioned, in August. So we look forward to meeting you. And if there are any questions, please feel free to reach out. Thanks.
Thank you, Lola. Thank you to you, Scott, Dino, Natalia, the whole group, for all the amazing work you do. I think the last part of our presentation here is just touching on our community impact initiatives. We have a few that we run here that really allow the members to be on the ground in communities and deliver the mission and the value of ULI. Urban Plan is one of them. It's a signature program that ULI has, teaching high school and university students about the roles, issues, and trade-offs and economics involved in creating the built environment. You can see on the left all the schools that are currently participating in the Urban Plan program here in New York, and current initiatives on the right. I'm going to let one of our co-chairs here for Urban Plan speak a little bit about, Urban Plan, Inbal Himmelblau Denman.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you. I co-chair Urban Plan program together with Jessica Elliott. This is my third year at the steering committee, and fourth year in general. I've been with ULI for almost a decade. I really enjoy to meet with the best expert in the real estate industry to share experience and best practice. I also proud of the program that Urban Plan accomplished in the last couple of years. We able to shift from the physical world to the virtual world smoothly, added more school, and continue to develop a program to the public sector. Urban Plan is basically engaging program, is experiential, which just like Felix said, it's meant for high school student, university student, and public official to learn the fundamental forces that affect development in our communities. The participant in the program, they face the challenging issues in the private and public sector. They build together a town, made up town, and they doing a lot of trade-off and learn about the economics that play into putting together this neighborhood, and then find a solution to growth challenge. What I like about this program is I'm very passionate about education and children and how we can learn to better our community through real estate and built environment. Our goals for this year is to have another public official program, and also to continue the excellent work that we're doing in the high schools and the graduate schools, and also to diversify our steering committee and our members. So there's something about this program keep bringing me every time, ever since I joined. I keep want to come and contribute and share. And what's fascinating about this is that along the years, the program changed a little bit, and every time I participate, I learn a little bit more. So very engaging, and I really hope for you. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me.
Great. Thanks, Inbal. Thank you. Thanks to Jessica and the steering committee for just an amazing job running our urban plan program. We're running low on time. I just want to kind of go through the last parts of the slides so that we can have at least a little bit of a breakout session time with the members. We have a technical assistance panel program, another hallmark of ULI, where our members that deliver pro bono advice to communities, governments are on complex land use challenges that they might be facing. You can see projects we finished and then upcoming opportunities. We're doing something with NYCHA actually today and tomorrow around solutions for cloud-burst infrastructure. Our TAPS leadership is Vivian Krieger and Olivia Moss. They do a fantastic job with their steering committee, finding opportunities and executing them for the district council. We have a tri-state land use council where we collaborate with ULI's district councils in Northern New Jersey and Westchester to help governments in the region kind of deal with similar issues, transportation, housing affordability. We've done some case studies. Our Metuchen case study got suspended during the pandemic, but we hope to be able to complete that in the near future. I've talked a little bit about our awards for excellence, or you saw pictures earlier. It's our signature annual event where we showcase, really the projects and the professionals who are raising the bar, here in New York. That event was in November. The gala will be on November 2nd this year as well. We award projects in 10 categories, and we also have a visionary leadership and land use honoree who has not been announced yet for 2022, but be on the lookout for that announcement shortly. And really, today's entire presentation and discussion really is about just giving you an opportunity to understand how you can get more involved, where the volunteer opportunities are. You can go to our website at the Get Involved tab and apply for all of the opportunities really you've heard the members talk about. There's a way to apply for a leadership role if you're interested in leadership, or if you want to join a product council or a committee or a subcommittee, you can do that as well. And the window to do that is open until March 31st. So please take advantage of that. Here's our contact info and how you can reach the team. And with that, sorry that we ran long on time, but I think we have time for kind of a concluding breakout session. So Sam, if you can spin the wheel and get us into some breakouts, we'll exit with that and at least have an opportunity for people to get to know each other a little bit. I know we've all done the Zoom before. Just accept the invite when it pops up on your screen. Thanks, everyone. Thank you to all of our leaders for being here with us today and for everything that they do throughout the year. We can't do this without you. Thanks so much.